Hey everyone, VVizard here! Like it was previously said in the Workshop 2 prints hosted by Zeta, I'll be detailing two of my newest mods for the Rivals Workshop, first being the Airship Fortress, Bullet Bill's home stage, and secondly being my latest character, Morcilo. But before we begin, I would like to detail Bullet Bill a little bit, since after all, he doesn't have a presentation of his own. Poor boy. Bullet Bill was a collaboration between VVizard and I for a workshop jam, with the theme being unorthodox, in which Bill ended up fitting the bill, being both a perfect unorthodox choice, but also providing a moveset with that same unusual nature. Which, by the way, the idea for Bullet Bill sort of came out of nowhere. I brought up with Vivi that I wanted to join the workshop jam, as long as I didn't have to sprite anything, and she shared with me a Bullet Bill sprite she had recently made, which according to her, the idea of Bullet Bill and Smash was stuck in her head, and that's when we had the idea of working together on such an out-there character. Bill's unorthodox nature comes from his gimmick, the Bill Blaster. The Bullet Bill you play as is shot out of a blaster, and as long as the blaster exists on the stage, you're free to use it as a platform, a source of remote strong attacks, and even a devastating projectile attack in itself by throwing it around. It also allows Bill to safely blow himself up without taking a stock, which is probably the most bizarre part of his kit as a whole. As a side note, did you know that Bullet Bill's taunt was based off his original artwork found on the Super Mario Bros. Manual? Since Bullet Bill was quickly made for the jam, we didn't have the time to make a companion stage for him, even if we had the idea, so we decided to leave that for later. That time is now, so finally, let's talk about his stage. Starting off with Airship Fortress, this stage originated in Mario Kart DS, where players race around an airship, dodging bullet bills and other obstacles, until they are shot by a cannon, landing on the wrecked fortress. This track later returned in Mario Kart 7, and once again in Mario Kart Tour. Here in Rivals, the stage was inspired by its original incarnation. The players battle on top of the great circular fortress present in the original track. On the right side, you can see the giant airship bobbing up and down. On the lower left side, we see some more towers, and other airships fly in the background, in front of the gorgeous pink sky with dark blue and purple clouds, reminiscent of the original game. Initially, Vivi and I had some quite complex ideas, where each time someone lost a stock, the stage would go through a change, both in its layout and visually. But we ended up realizing how complicated that whole idea would be, so we scrapped it. But to keep that original theme, we decided to put in moving platforms, which come and go in different layouts. One idea we did keep, however, was the Bonsai Bill. This was at first going to be a part of Bullet Bill's moveset, so we already made the sprite for that and everything. So what we did was, whenever a player loses a stock, the airship in the background would shoot out a Bonsai Bill. The said bullet would appear on the stage, in place of the player, giving them the power to control the mighty Bonsai Bill. In Bonsai Bill form, the player can fly around, but you need to take slight turns. You can't just do sharp movements, and you even get faster and faster. The transformation also lasts for a couple of seconds, and you can't leave the screen's boundaries, otherwise it blows up in your face. Your opponents can also hit or parry you, putting an end to your little fun. And of course, if you hit a player, they will be launched with a great deal of damage and knockback. You can even destroy the platforms with the Bonsai Bill, or even the ground itself. Yes, with the Bonsai Bill form, if you hit the ground, it will be destroyed, drastically changing the stage's layout. You can do that multiple times, leaving it in complete ruin. The stage contains 4 music tracks, being the Airship Fortress theme from the original DS version, the Bullet Express theme from Super Mario 3D World, a track closely tied to Bullet Bill as a character, the Shifty Sticker, which is the battle theme for Tape from Paper Mario the Origami King. Tape appears as a workshop fighter by the creator SB2749, being a fellow unorthodox Mario character for the same jam Bill was created, so this is a little nod to that event. And finally, a spectacular remix of Airship Fortress in the style of Mario Kart 8, arranged by Penman Music on YouTube, present here with their permission, which, by the way, was the main inspiration for this stage's creation. Said remix also has a faster version, which is used in Mario Kart whenever the player is on the final lap, so we decided to bring that concept here. When any player reaches their final stop, the little final lap jingle plays. And after that, a faster version of the previous track starts to play, or even another song, depending on what was playing originally. And speaking of that, you can pick which song you want to hear at the start of the match with the right analog stick, which is made using Huponia's Music Picker template. And well, that's all for Airship Fortress. I hope you have fun with it, both in its basic form with the moving platforms, but also in the very chaotic Aether version, allowing players to transform into Bonsai Bill and cause complete havoc. Airship Fortress will be available as soon as this presentation ends, but before that, of course, let's take a look at my latest character, Morcilo. Morcilo, the masked crusader, joins the roster of Rivals Workshop. But how did he come to be? It all started when I was talking with my friend, the Gentlest, about how close the Two Prince Direct was, and how I was sadly missing out on that. That's when we had the idea of making a collab, where he would make the sprites and animations, and I would handle the code. But we had to make a simple enough character so that we could meet the deadline. The Gentlest and I started to brainstorm possible inspirations for said character, so I decided to look at my completed games list. Yes, I have a completed games list, and that's when I saw Batman NES, and everything just clicked. An OC based off Batman, using a gliding mechanic alongside his powerful hand-to-hand combat, and a diversity of gadgets including a remote bomb, very similar to Snake's C4 in Smash, one of the Gentlest's favorite Smash moves. And then we started to work on possible designs for the character. The Gentlest made a series of different sketches for it, and we ended up gravitating more towards a design with bigger arms and more focus on the utility belt, and bit by bit, Morcilo was taking shape. Speaking of which, for the longest time he didn't have a name, being only referred to as Batman or Bat Guy, but at the last second we gave him the name Morcilo. Now for the character in-game. Morcilo isn't very fast or very strong, but his strength comes from using his various gadgets and wings, which is one of his most straightforward mechanics. Besides having multiple jumps, Morcilo can glide if you hold down the jump button. Doing that, you can move horizontally, at the same time as you slowly descend. Speaking of gadgets, they are used in most of your specials. Let's start with the end special, the Boomerang. Morcilo throws the boomerang forward, which flies a certain distance before going back to you, and if you hit someone, it will start to fly back right away. You can also aim it up or down, and even influence its return trajectory, or just dodge out of the way if you so prefer. Up next we have D Special, the Remote Bomb. Morcilo takes out a bomb and places it in front of him, which will just sit there until it's detonated by pressing D Special again. The range of the explosion is shown with a circle around it. You can also be hit by your own explosion, which causes damage but also allows you to act immediately. You can even influence your trajectory with it. Now what happens if you throw the boomerang at the bomb? Well, the bomb will be carried by the boomerang, allowing it to be detonated mid-flight for some powerful plays. In case you grab the boomerang while it carries a bomb, the bomb will stick to you, allowing you to become a walking explosive. And finally, your most powerful gadget in your arsenal, your F Special, the almighty grappling hook. Morcilo readies himself and launches the hook forward. It retracts after a bit, but if you hit someone or something with it, Morcilo will be pulled towards that and fly in that direction. For example, this big guy could actually be a good recovery option for you. And if you use it in the air, Morcilo will then shoot it diagonally down, again allowing you to be pulled forward if it hits something. But that's not all. If you don't have any target near you, you can just grapple your own bomb or boomerang, so there should always be an opportunity to use the grapple hook. As a final tip, remember that you can use your glide to build some ludicrous speed when used alongside the grapple, so give that a try. And finally, your U Special. It's the Shuttle Loop, a simple aerial maneuver, useful not only as a recovery tool, but also as a combo finisher. However, there's a catch. If you have a bomb stuck to yourself and you hold down the special button, Morcilo triggers the explosion at the highest point of the move, giving you even greater distance and power. And I believe that is all. But before we go, I would like to shed some light on the power Workshop has, not only for what we can provide to the players, but also as creators. I was never much of a Batman fan. I grew up with Spider-Man and the X-Men after all, so I didn't really have that connection with the character. Well, except for the NES game I absolutely adore. But working on Morcilo, I studied more about Batman, his origin, history, characters. I ended up developing this love for the character, gaining more appreciation and awareness of his movies and games. And it was all because of this that I finally played Arkham Asylum as well, and found so much great stuff in it. By the way, I personally cannot wait for the next movie, The Batman. I think this is a very special part about Workshop. Tons of creators making mods from stuff that is important for them, that they're sharing with all of us. Every single piece of art should be appreciated, despite the recognition it receives, and I'm glad with Workshop it allows us to both provide and experience just that. Now for real, wrapping this up, I would like to thank all involved that helped me with this project. Thanks to VVizard for once again lending me your voice, but also all your work on Airship Fortress, drawing and animating the stage and all of its elements with such high quality. Thank you so much. To Degentalist for literally giving life to Morcilo. This character would have never existed without your incredible sprites and animation. Thank you so much as well. And, well, I guess that's all. I do have some more collabs and even commissions coming in the future, so be on the lookout for that. And like it was previously announced, I do have 2 more collabs with VVizard, and I promise you, it will be worth the wait. So I'll see you all sooner than you might expect. See you next time!